Welcome back. I'm now going to talk about implementing a care plan, starting with consistency. Consistency is important because it is calming. It slows the motor, that is, the arousal levels, of the children and young people in your care, with the anticipated result that they will be less likely to engage in problematic behaviours associated with anxiety. Consistency also supports a state of well-being, where children and young people in your care will think at their best, feel at their best, act at their best, and perform at their best. In these times of uncertainty, consistency supports the experience of knowing what will happen, when it will happen, and how it will happen, which is reassuring. Implementing a little extra consistency starts with turning our minds to the routines we already maintain, even in these troubled times. These include our sleep and mealtime routines, activities that are part of the life of the home, and behavioural expectations. For reasons that will become clear later, I would ask you to write these down, as in the space provided in the infographic. Next, I would ask you to make a list of the things that occur sometimes. These might include extended bedtime routine, playing card and board games, a movie night, or a night where each member of the family takes a turn cooking or choosing the meal. You can achieve a little extra consistency by turning one of the sometimes things into a regular thing. Make a plan about how you're going to turn the sometimes thing into a regular thing and communicate the plan to the children and young people in your care. Only set out to do what you can keep up over time. Remember, consistency is important. Finally, it is important to keep track of evidence that the plan is working. I've included on the infographic some of the signs you might expect to see that the children and young people in your care are benefiting from a little extra consistency. For a more comprehensive list of the signs the children and young people in your care are benefiting from a little extra care, I would refer you to Appendix A in the handbook that accompanies this video series. Now I'm going to talk about accessibility, or the A in the care model. In ordinary circumstances, children and young people first learn that adults are accessible to them during infancy, when we attend to them whether they are crying or quiet. For some children and young people, their parents struggle to consistently do this due to their own personal struggles. In such circumstances, these children and young people learn that they cannot always rely on adults to be there for them. In these times of restriction of access to significant others who reside outside of the foster or kinship care placement, and our own personal struggles in response to the pandemic, children and young people who are recovering from a tough start to life might be triggered into approaching life and relationships under the influence of prior learning that adults in a caregiving role cannot always be relied upon to be there for them. They may become more demanding of your time and intrusive into your activities. The risk here is that you withdraw a little in order to create some space for yourself, which can exacerbate the problem. Implementing a little extra accessibility starts with making a record of the times that you already attend to the children and young people in your care, whether they are crying or quiet. Next, make a list of times that the children and young people in your care initiate interaction with you. Can you predict when this might occur? In order to provide the children and young people in your care with a little extra accessibility, I recommend that you either make consistent one of the times that you already attend to them, whether they are crying or quiet, or try to get in first and initiate interaction with them at a time you anticipate that they will seek interaction with you. Remember, only start doing what you can keep doing over time. For overly self-reliant children and young people, check in with them proactively 1 or 2 times per day, more than you already do. Finally, it's important to keep track of evidence that the plan is working. I have included on the infographic some of the signs that you might expect to see that the children and young people in your care are benefiting from a little extra accessibility. Again, For a more comprehensive list of the signs that children and young people in your care are benefiting from a little extra care, I would refer you to Appendix A of the handbook that accompanies this video series.